Hey everyone, it's Ken with Ken's Creations. Well, today was really exciting. When I got home from work, I had a package on my doorstep, and lo and behold, it was my PixScan from Silhouette. And this was really exciting because I could not wait to try this product out. This product claims to, you're able to take a picture with your smartphone or a camera and scan it into your Silhouette, and it will actually cut out what you trace on either a stamped image or a patterned piece of paper. Now, for those of you who follow my channel, you do know that I've been testing the Brother Scan and Cut. So I'm really excited to see how this piece of technology that Silhouette has released compares to the Brother Scan and Cut technology. It's a huge comparison, a $14.99 mat compared to a $400 machine. So I'm really excited to see what this looks like. So in this video, I want to show you, of course, the mat. I want to show you how you have to calibrate your camera or your phone, because that's a big part of making sure that this technology works. And then we're also going to show you, does the technology work and how well does it work? So the first thing you need to do is, if you have not updated your software, you need to do so, because with this technology came a software update. You can do so by going to their support tab at Silhouette America, go to the Silhouette Studio here, and download the latest Silhouette Studio. And you want to go down here where it says Silhouette Studio version 3.1.417, released on August 4th, 2014. Now, if you're not sure what version you'll have, it'll be very obvious for two reasons. Number one, I'll show you how you can check your software, but you'll have a new icon. You will have the PixScan icon on your Silhouette Studio, which has probably never been there before. So you're going to have this new little icon, and you're going to say, hey, what's that? Never seen that before. That's kind of nifty. So you'll know you have the software. So what you can do is you can check right here is the new icon, but you can also go up to the Silhouette Studio, about Silhouette Studio, and it's going to tell you right here what software you have. Okay, so here is our lovely software. And like I said, here is that new PixScan icon right here. So we're going to go ahead and tap that. Now, the first thing you can do before you can do anything else with this brand new amazing mat is you have to calibrate this your camera that you're going to be using. So whether it be a smartphone, a high definition camera, whatever you're going to be using, you need to be able to calibrate your camera. So just by selecting this right here where it says import from file, if you select down that little arrow, you're going to see this option that says camera calibration. And when you select that, it's going to say show calibration test card. And it's going to put all of these little dots all over your page. And what you're going to do is you're going to need to print this. And you're just going to print it a little bit on, or not a little bit, you're going to print it on your paper, and you're going to be taking a picture with your camera, and this is what is going to calibrate on the mat. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to print this out on my, printer, and then I'm going to walk you through how the calibration goes. So let's go ahead and print this. And then we'll come back and walk through the calibration. Alright, so it printed out the calibration sheet, so here it is. As you can see, some of the rows, it didn't print the complete dots, which is fine. Don't worry about that, because we're going to end up cropping this anyway, so don't worry about that too much. At this time, just so you guys know, we won't be doing anything yet with the PixScan mat, but here it is just so you can see what it looks like in all of its glory, but we won't be using that quite yet. All we're doing right now is you're going to be taking the camera you're going to be using most for the PixScan on your projects. We're going to be taking a picture of the item. Now, when you're taking a picture, you want to get as close as you can, but as straight on as you can. So I'm going to be going into my camera on my iPhone here, and I want to go, and I'm going to be doing it under my lights here. So I have lights in here. Let me get everything out of the way here. And you want as clean as image as possible. And like I said, I'm going to be cropping it anyways, so not too worried. And then we're just going to take that picture, and then I'm going to look at the picture just to make sure it looks good, which that looks like a really good picture, and we can crop in. So there's a little bit of a shadow down there. I'm not too worried about it because I'm going to crop in on it anyway. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and import this onto my desktop, and we're going to go ahead and crop the picture, and I'm going to show you how to do that right now. Now that we have our calibration printed, we just need to go ahead and resize it. Now, I've already downloaded it to my desktop, as you can see right here. Here is the picture that I took with my camera, but we don't want that background of my countertop on there. So I'm going to go ahead and open my editing program, which is iPhoto, and that's going to go ahead and edit that photo. Now, it's really important when editing this photo, you want to make sure that you keep the ratio the same size. Now, I have already edited this photo, but what I mean by that is when you're cropping it, here's my original photo right there. So when I'm cropping this and I'm bringing it down, I want to keep the same ratio. So that way I don't lose that. And that's very important because you want to keep the same ratio that your camera would normally take. Very important. Once we have done this step, we're going to go ahead and make sure that we save this to our desktop. And I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'm just going to go ahead and export that to my desktop. And I'm going to go ahead and save it, and you can save it to whatever you'd like it to be. I'm just going to call it my calibration. And I'm going to save it to my desktop. At this point, I can get rid of my old photo, which is right here. And this part, you guys, is really easy. We're going to reopen our Silhouette Studio here. And underneath where it says Camera Calibration, you're going to want to go to where there's this little plus sign right there. We're going to hit that plus sign. We're going to hit that calibration. We're going to hit Open. It's going to process. And there it is, Apple iPhone 5S. Now, as long as you got no warning pop-up boxes that say calibration did not accept or there was an error, you're done with the calibration. That means it accepted and we are ready to start scanning. That's as easy as the calibration is. So let's go ahead and do our first scan. So as you guys can see, the calibration part was very easy, very simple. So we're going to go ahead and try our first cut. What I love about this is we're going to try a nice scrapbooking page. We can tell that there's no way you could put registration marks on this. So this is what's great about this PixScan, is to see how well this will do on this. On the mat, I would recommend giving yourself some sort of indication of what the top of the mat is. I have these little sticker pads here, and I just take a little letter and put it on the top of the mat so it lets me know that this is the top of the mat, because as you can see, there is no indication of what the top is and what the bottom is. What we're gonna do though is we're gonna go ahead and take that off. We're gonna fix this on our mat. Mats are very sticky, which is nice. Been working with other mats that are not so sticky, i.e. Brother Scan and Cuts. And then just using that phone that we used, we're gonna go ahead and take a picture. So there's my picture. I'm sorry. I'm going to go ahead, and the next step we need to do is we need to go ahead and import this into the computer, and I will show you that process next, and then we'll go ahead and cut it on the machine. So I have already imported that photo, and it's right there, as you can see, and it's waiting on my desktop. So we can go ahead and open our Silhouette Studio. There is our PixScan icon, and I'm going to go ahead and hit Import File on that little down arrow. Import PixScan image from File, and there is that photo. I'm going to hit Open, and now it is going to bring that in on my mat here, and this could take just a little bit of time, so give it a little bit of time while it loads the image onto the mat here. And the next step of the process is like any other image that you would normally have, which is tracing the image and adding our cut lines. So that's what we're going to be doing next, is tracing these images and adding the cut lines. Now, as you can see, there is our images. It automatically formatted everything for us right there. So it has it on the PixScan mat perfectly. It has the registration marks. Everything is exactly where it needs to be. So I'm going to go ahead and add my cut mat, or my registration, or excuse me, my trace area. I'm going to come up to the trace area, select trace area. I'm going to draw my box around just like I normally would for any trace. It's going to add the trace, so I'm going to turn my high pass filter off. And as you can see, and at this point we can add the threshold up until I like. And just hitting trace outer edge there. And we can still hit release compound path to get rid of any unwanted items, just like you would on any other trace. So as you can see, there was some little pieces of trace that I still don't want from my trace that I didn't like. And up here there was some. Other than that, it's good. So I'm going to go ahead and draw that back and make compound path again. And at this point, we are good. So now at this point, we can go ahead and send this to the silhouette just like we normally would, and we'll see how this turns out. It's really important at this point. You do not want to move anything on your mat. You do not want to move your items, of course, on your mat. You do not want to move your cut lines on your mat. We just want to go ahead and load this into our Cameo and press cut. And let's go ahead and take a look how it did. All right, guys. All right, the first thing we're going to do is load our mat. And then we want to make sure that all of our we're set here. It's a little bit of a thicker material, so I have it at the thicker cardstock there. So I've already adjusted that. I've adjusted all my settings in my software, so I'm going to send this to the silhouette. Now I've noticed that sometimes I've had to get it to try to register my marks a few times, so I'm going to try it a few more times here. And if it does it like that, like it has twice there, I'm going to go ahead and take my mat out and reload it. I have this on the lower setting, or I mean the 105 pound cardstock, so it is cutting at a slower speed. But as you can tell, just by taking out the mat and reloading it, it did register the registration marks. So I'm going to go ahead and speed up the video so we can go ahead and see how the results are. Alright, so it is all done cutting. I'm going to go ahead and unload the mat here. So besides those little pieces here that got caught in the paper, show you right here how amazing that did. So as you can see there, it's a little bit of white over there, which I probably could have done a better job with the tracing and filling. But in comparison to the Brother Scan and Cut, I'll let you know I used the same paper in my Brother Scan and Cut review, and it could not even register this paper on the scanning device. And as you can tell, the Silhouette Cameo and PixScan did an amazing job not only picking it all up, but of course cutting it. So there you go. That's how easy it is to use the PixScan. So let me go ahead and do a couple more sample cuts for you guys to show you how easy it is and the results on some stamped images. Alright everyone, I wanted to show you, I'm actually going to show you this stamp here and what we're going to do with it, but I wanted to show you first, if you have an image on your PixScan and you don't want to be working with it anymore, all you have to do is go down here where it says remove PixScan image and hit all, and that will actually get rid of your image. And that's how you get rid of any image that you're currently working with. I just want to quickly show you how we deal with stamps now. So I'm going to go ahead and go to import from file. We're going to go ahead and hit import, and I've already imported this stamp into my Silhouette Studio here, and we're going to go ahead and import this and trace it then. Now, keep in mind when you're taking these pictures, you just want to make sure you get the clearest picture possible. You want to make sure you get your registration marks, and the biggest key is you want to make sure you're getting the outline. That's the key, is the outline, because the outline is what we're going for. Especially in stamps, we want to make sure we get a nice clean outline, and that really is the key when taking these pictures. So try to get most light, try to not get a shadow. As you can see, this is probably not the best picture, however I tried to do my best. So anyways, this is the longest process of this PixScan, is the loading of the images, so do be patient. It's not freezing on you, it's just loading the image onto your mat, and it can take a few steps, I've noticed. I've already done one stamp, and the stamp took a little bit longer than the printed image that I was working with from just a card stock pack. So I don't know why that is, but it did take a little bit longer for the stamp image. So just be patient during this process. But the next thing we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and trace this little cute Santa Claus. Now when you're tracing, you want to make sure that you trace just on this white paper. As you can see, I stamped the Santa Claus on a white paper. And the reason why is that way it minimizes the trace overlap area that you'll have to work with. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in on my Santa Claus here, and we're going to turn off that high pass filter. We're going to turn down my scale. That's going to turn down the busyness and kind of work with my threshold here a little bit. And we just want to trace the outer edge again, like we always have been. That gives us a good indication. And then once again, all we have to do is send this to my Silhouette. And it's going to look for those registration marks and cut it, and then we will show you at the end of the video how it turned out. So here's some samples of what the Silhouette PixScan did. As you know, these ones on the top are the first ones that we test cut for you. This is the stamp that I walked you through how to import and trace. As you can see, it did a great job getting right next to the Santa Claus, but not cutting in on the stamp that a lot of people were afraid it might do. Over here, I wanted to show you this amazing intricate flower stamp. It did an amazing job getting right next. It got the stems. Perfect job. I also wanted to point out, as you guys know, if you've been following my channel, I have been reviewing the Brother Scan and Cut, and this is the same flower that the Brother Scan and Cut also did. So over here you have the Silhouette Cameo PixScan, and this is the Brother Scan and Cut. So as you can tell, the only difference really on here is the Brother Scan and Cut got a little bit closer on the flower petals than the Silhouette PixScan. Keep in mind, this is a $14.99 mat. This is a $400 machine. Now, keep in mind, you also have to buy the Silhouette Cameo machine if you don't already have that. However, if you're thinking about getting the Brother Scan and Cut or just upgrading to this mat, not a bad comparison there. So, great job on that flower. I didn't think it would do as good as it did on this. I was very impressed with this. Over here is a stamp, and I specifically picked this stamp because this is a stamp I imported on the Brother Scan and Cut, and it could not register the stamp. It couldn't cut it. I had a heck of a time. So I tried it on the Silhouette PixScan, and it, even though it had a very hard time registering it and uploading it. It took a very long time to register it and upload it onto the mat. It finally did, and once it did, I was able to trace it and no problem. And the reason why I think it did is obviously because it is a Halloween stamp. It's got kind of that creepy, distressed look, and I think because of that, it just took a little bit longer. But it did, and it had no problem cutting. So as you can tell, did a beautiful job where unfortunately the Brother Scan and Cut could not do that. So as you can see, beautiful job, did great job with the stamps, did a great job with cutting on the paper, and I would have done more of those, but it's pretty straightforward on the paper. As long as you don't have a busy paper, it worked great. So overall, you guys, I think this is a amazing product, the PixScan. You can get it in the Silhouette Cameo, you can get it for the Silhouette Portrait. The mat obviously is different than print and cut. I've gotten that question a lot. Print and cut, obviously you're printing with the registration marks on the sheet, where this one, the registration marks are already on it, and this is designed to go ahead and cut those images like stamps. Cut those images that you can't get registration marks on, like the cardstock or stamps. So it is a little bit different, where a lot of people are saying, well, this is just like print cut. It's actually a completely different process. So it is a completely different ball game here. So I'm very impressed. For a $14.99 mat, this is a huge contender now for the Silhouette Cameo. And it was one of those things where a lot of people were saying, hey, should I go with that Brother Scan and Cut? I love the fact that I can scan my stamps and it's going to cut it. I can scan a pattern paper and it's going to cut it. This little piece of technology just changed that for me. I just started testing the Brother Scan and Cut, but you know what? This here and the quality of this and how precise this is really has changed the ball game again for me. I highly recommend the PixScan. I think it did a fabulous job. It's very easy to use. The calibration was extremely easy to do, and the process of actually uploading a picture and tracing and cutting extremely easy. If you're comfortable with the print and cut, you'll be very comfortable with this. So if you haven't already bought it, I would highly recommend getting this to add to your Silhouette tools. You will absolutely love it. So, alright guys, if you haven't already, make sure you're checking out my blog over at www.creativeken.blogspot.com. Make sure you're subscribing to my YouTube channel, where you'll check out all my Silhouette Cameo videos, where I'll be featuring more Silhouette Cameo videos coming up. Make sure you give me 2 thumbs up, like, comment if you love it, share it with everyone. Make sure you head over to my Twitter page, my Pinterest page. Make sure you're checking out my Facebook page. Basically, check out anywhere you can on the internet, anywhere Ken's Creation is. I would love to have you following me everywhere. So, alright guys, thank you so much for checking out PixScan. I absolutely love this. Go out, buy one, check it out. I have the link to purchase this right below this video, so you don't have to go far to get it. So, thanks for watching it. Get it, go out there and create something magical with it. Alright, thanks so much. Have an amazing day, guys.